Adolf Hitler. Seriously, how many times was he about to die, but then got spared? 42. Eventually he had to do it himself. Ironically, those 42 failed attempts somewhat eventually led to his death. He saw those failed attempts as evidence of divine providence, making him think he is immortal. Also he was doing tons of drugs which just made him even more mad. So he ended up ignoring all advices from his generals, thinking it is impossible for him to fail. Fidel Castro's armor is very strong against CIA assassinations. He was cheating though, body doubles and whatnot. Black Ops 1 flashbacks. Friggin' Napoleon, man. When he returned from Elba, he just walked up to the royal troops and dared them to kill him. *THEY joined his side. Then after he lost at Waterloo, they still didn't kill him. The 5th Regiment was sent to intercept him and made contact at just south of Grenoble on the 7th of March 1815. Napoleon approached the regiment alone, dismounted his horse, and, when he was within gunshot range, shouted to the soldiers, "Here I am. Kill your emperor, if you wish." The soldiers quickly responded with, "Vive l'Empereur." **NY, who had boasted to the restored Bourbon king that he would bring Napoleon to Paris in an iron cage, affectionately kissed his former emperor, and forgot his oath of allegiance to the Bourbon monarch. Very smart audible by knee to side with the guy the troops sided with. He, sadly, was executed. He gave the commands to the firing squad that shot him. Roy Sullivan. He got hit by lightning 7 times in his life. Some serious D&D level plot armor right there. Guy eventually shot himself in the head out of anxiety during a thunderstorm, though. Arthur, you always fuck this part up. Let me show you how it is done. Oh. Gosh, I can see it. It's like how there are so many foods that you try and don't like, but then get told over and over that you don't like it because you didn't try the real version, and get told to try a different one. And again, but with lightning and dying instead of a food and liking it. Sir Adrian Cotton de Wyatt, a Belgian-born British lieutenant general who served in the Boer War and World War II. Cotton de Wyatt was known as a fierce military commander, and also for being basically indestructible. During his service he was shot in the face, skull, stomach, ankle, leg, hip, and ear, survived 2 plane crashes, tunneled out of a POW camp, and bit off his own fingers when a doctor refused to amputate them. He also lost his left eye, his left hand, and part of his left ear. In 1916, Cotton de Wyatt commanded 4 battalions single-handedly, after the other 3 battalion commanders had fallen, marching through the trenches barking orders between dodging bullets, holding ground at all costs. For his gallantry and bravery, he was awarded the Victoria Cross. He also lost his left eye, his left hand, and part of his left ear. In 1916, Cotton de Wyatt commanded 4 battalions single-handedly. No choice, really. I mean, if he commanded 4 battalions, wouldn't he just be the brigade commander? Michael Maloy. Dude drank tons of wood alcohol and lived. 2 shots of it can kill you. He survived being left in the snow covered in water. And he survived being run over twice. The dudes trying to kill him had to cut off his oxygen supply to kill him. His killers deploy to destroy the unemployed Maloy, and yet when the last attempt succeeded they got executed for murdering him. Yeah, their successful attempt made the cause of death pretty obvious compared to alcohol poisoning. Gatz von Berlichingen, aka Gatz of the Iron Hand. 16th century German imperial knight who had his right arm blown off by a cannon and had it replaced with an iron prosthetic. Supposedly one of the later prosthetics he had was capable of holding shields, horse reins, quills etc. He got into over 15 feuds with other lords and frequently joined revolts against the Holy Roman Emperor. The only punishment he ever received was basically a form of house arrest. He is also famous for creating the euphemism, "Aria kan mich am Arsch lecken," or "he can lick my ass." The last part is not quite right. It's, kann mich am Arsch lecken, he can lick the inside of my ass. Just to clarify, the actual quote is, "Araba, sagers IHM, kann mich am Arsch lecken, but the current version used today is leck mich am Arsch, or simply Achlak mich doch, and not am Arsch. https d.wiki.org/wiki/schw%c3% a4 by /gru%c3%9f https://d.wiki.org/wiki/bischer_gru%c3%9f Mike Maloy aka Mike the Durable. A bar owner and a group of friends tried murder him in an insurance fraud scheme. He just wouldn't die. He was a drunk. They gave him an unlimited tab. They laced his booze with antifrizz, turpentine, horse liniment, and rat poison. He drank it and asked for more. The next night they fed him a sandwich made of oysters soaked in wood alcohol. He asked for another. They gave him a sandwich of rotten sardines. He asked for another. They left him naked and soaking wet overnight in -14 Adog.F weather. He showed up the next day complaining that he had a little chill. So, they hit him with a car at 45 miles per hour and then backed over him to make sure they couldn't collect the insurance money without proof of death. He turned up at the bar again after a 3-month stay in the hospital with multiple broken bones. They finally succeeded in killing him though by sticking a hose in his mouth and poisoning him with a gas burner. I should stop coming to this bar. He did. Eventually. Japan. The Mongols got hurricaned twice trying to invade. They survived Western imperialism, and after getting nuked twice they still kept their independence. Good ol' Himiko. He did. Eventually. Teddy Roosevelt. Dude was a sickly child. Ended up being a true badass. Fighting wars. Hunting all kinds of stuff. Even got shot one time before giving a speech. Got shot one time before giving a speech? I think you mean got shot before giving a speech, stood back up, gave his 90-minute speech, and only after finishing his speech did he finally decide, oh hey, I should get some medical attention. Goes to the hospital to find out that the bullet is lodged in his ribs and that it would have hit his heart had it not been for his coat, eyeglass case, and that same speech he had in his pocket. Unreal plot armor / being a badass. Friends, I shall ask you to be as quiet as possible. I do not know whether you fully understand that I have just been so, but it takes more than that to kill a bull moose. Rasputin hands down. Look up Fat Earth Dude's story. Most of it is fake / exaggerated though, since his killers wanted to have a good story to tell. Good story to tell. As the worst assassins ever? George Washington. The whole American Revolution is unfucking livable. They were practically setting themselves up to lose it, and yet still won. Did it for the memes. I wouldn't say Washington had plot armor, but he was a one-sever type of leader. He single-handedly kept the Revolutionary Army together, year in and year out. Instead of going home for winter, he stayed with his troops and somehow inspired them to re-up or stay after their terms ended, despite living in filth and disease in summer and losing skirmishes and battle after battle, living through winters without shoes or coats and practically no food. Alexander the Great. Never lost a battle, but was killed off in 4th season. I understood that reference. I don't. Miyamoto Musashi. Legendary samurai and veteran. Undefeated in 30 duels. Carved a wooden sword to make it more challenging on himself in duels. Retired from dueling to give others a chance to win. Ushered in the Edo period of Japan while living in a cave in a mountain. While living in this mountain, wrote a book that is a staple of Japanese business strategies. The epitome of warrior poets. I don't. I think basically every person who makes it to adulthood has had quite a few plot armor moments. I can honestly remember a few times when I was like I really should have died here, and I'm sure nearly every one of you does as well. It's just that the famous people's story I heard more often. Yeah, I am amazed that I made it to 26. Fell through 2 windows, my own stupidity, an inability to not shoot my mouth off, riding on car hoods for shits and giggles, stealing my dad's car with a friend while drunk, and on coke, so we could buy more coke. So much stupid shit that could have killed me, but here I am. If I was more stupid, I'd think I must be invincible. One time as a child I was playing in the bed of my dad's truck. Just for funsies, I decided to just sort of dive head first over the side and cracked the shit out of my head. I should not have survived as long as I have.